Man, let's take a step back. So I know I jumped into like what you were like as a kid, but as far as like you mentioned your mom, but can you just talk about your household as a whole and your father and siblings and all of that, dog?
It was me, my brother, and my little sister. You know, my mom was a single parent. We had my stepdad and shit. But, you know, my daddy stayed here. We stayed there. He was very active in our life. You know, he was always there. So it was like we had two houses. You know what I'm saying? And shit. Sometimes we over here. Sometimes we over there. But for the most part, we went to school from my mama's house and shit. You know, my daddy would come take us to school, pick us up on the weekends. And, you know what I'm saying? We might be over that bitch 5, 6, 7 days at a time. It's just wherever we wanted to be, you know?
Yeah. Man, like coming up in an area that's impoverished, I guess to say, you know, in so many words.
Right.
Were y'all struggling coming up or were y'all the fresh kids, man?
I mean, we had everything we needed. You know, we wasn't no bad doing that motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? We had everything we needed. We had extra when my daddy was here, you know, but when he passed, we still had everything. We ain't go without shit, so, you know what I'm saying? I could say I had a pretty decent child. I stayed fresh for the most part. Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking you that is because, so what would cause you to really rebel?
I just wanted to do shit my way.
I mean, but where did that, like, what placed that inside of you? If you got both parents in your life and a stepfather.
Now, after my daddy died, it really, like, took a toll on me. That's when I really
break it down.
went in savage mode. You know what I'm saying?
So your father passed away, how old were you?
I think I was 7, 8, some shit like that. But yeah, he had his hand on me. I used to get my ass whooped all the time. Like, he kept me in line and shit. And, you know, once that leave, you know, we had a stepdaddy, but I wasn't really trying to hear that shit. I took my own route. Like, I wanted to do it my way. You feel me? Like, they might tell me to go right. I'm going to go left just to see what's down that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's really how I roll. I got to see it to believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Did that cause
show me?
Did that cause you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You said you got to show you.
Yeah, I had to learn. I had to see it. You know what I'm saying? You could tell me that motherfucker hot. I'm going to touch it and see. That's how I was. It
wasn't nobody like no big homies and no OGs and nothing that kind of tried to steer you the right way?
Shit, my OGs, big homies, the niggas from the hood, they was doing the shit that I really was looking up to. Like, I admired that shit. The money, the cars, the jewelry, you know what I'm saying? They had all the women. That's what I wanted to do, you feel me? Yeah.
So what about like academically, before everything went left?
I had good grades. Ain't no dummy.
Like what type of student were you? Aside from being rebellious, like actually.
I was a good student. I used to go do my work, then cut up.
What schools did you go to in Orlando?
Shit. I went to Catalina Elementary. I went to a whole lot of elementary schools. Palmetto, Tangelo, a couple more. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, I went to Memorial. And I went to MSPA, that's like a alternative school, Excel, for the bad kids and shit. I went there for a couple of years. High school, Jones. We stayed on the east side for a while, so I went to Colonia. And I went to Dr. Phillips too.
Right. So people from Orlando, they gonna be familiar with these high schools that you saying, or these schools you're saying?
For sure.
What caused you to go to so many different elementary schools? Were y'all moving around a lot?
Yeah, we just moved, you know.
You wasn't getting kicked out of
no? I wasn't getting kicked. Yeah. I wasn't getting kicked out.
Okay.
Hell nah. Not at elementary school. Hell nah. No.
Nah, for sure. One more question about the sports, man. So you said you was a cornerback and a wide receiver.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you break any records when you were playing?
I wasn't no record breaker. I was good though. I wasn't trying to break no records. I was just playing football. You know? I was great at my position though.
So man, I mean, let's dive a little deeper into it. So your father passes away. That kind of opens the door for you to really, I guess, jump off the porch, quote unquote. But you still in school. Then the situation happened with the gun. So prior to that, like, do you remember around the first age you really started like getting out there, toting pistols and all of that? It was before 10th grade?
Yeah. Probably like 14, 13. Like 13, 14. I had a pistol. For sure.
And if you in an area where you know people, man, you got, you know what I'm saying, siblings, I guess you got friends, so I would assume you're not necessarily in danger. You doing this by choice.
Yeah, it was always, you know what I'm saying, by choice.
Or you doing something you ride?
The lifestyle,
what you doing with
the lifestyle I was living, you know, I growed up around it, so, you know, I really was like a product of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had a millionaires that admire around us shit. Nigga looked up to the dope man, you feel what I'm saying? Looked up to them niggas that was having shit. So, you know, that's kind of like what route I took. I did it a little different, but yeah, I took their route though.
So you started hustling young too?
Yeah, for sure.
Around what age you talking?
Probably like same age, like 13, 14.
So when you started carrying a gun, you started selling with...
I was selling weed and shit before that. Yeah, I was selling weed and shit before. I probably like 12 when I got my first weed bone. I fucked it up, but you know, I was a young nigga with that shit. Yeah.
So what went wrong?
No, just I ain't know how to save the money at first. You get the money, blow the money. Couldn't re-up. I had to go steal a nigga shit, you know what I'm saying? I kept it going at my pace, the best I could. But you know, once I got older, I really like learned how to focus, you know what I'm saying?
Mm. So, okay, but did it transition from, did it get more serious from the weed to, you know, like...
Yeah, it was, yeah, the weed was just the first step, you know? I went from no weed hole, niggas was selling other shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the weed was the first step, for sure.
Man, we ain't gotta go too much into it, but I do wanna ask you this, man, like being someone who checked out some of your music and hearing the content, you know, it's real like raw.
Right.
It's real street, like unapologetically, like, I mean, I guess you could say like savage to a certain extent.
Right.
Before you started rapping, like who were you listening to kind of influence that style, aside from you just living the way you was living?
Juvenile, C-Murder, Soulja Slim, Master P, 8 Ball and MJG, all that type of shit. All them old school, you know, them type of niggas.
Oh, for sure. Nobody in Florida though?
Florida really ain't, you know, they ain't really had. When I was growing up, it was a couple rappers from Florida and shit, but that was like in the later years, like, you know, Granddaddy South and shit like that.
From Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay. But not no Trick Daddy?
Yeah, Trick Daddy for sure. My bad. I definitely listen to Trick Daddy.
Yeah, we said Juvenile, C-Murder.
For sure.
8 Ball, MJG.
Yeah.
All Southern, so you was a Southern. You ain't never venture out to the West Coast music, the East Coast music, nothing like that?
Oh, I listened to, my brother was a big Pop fan, so, you know, I listened to Pop and shit. Mac 10, them type of niggas, you know what I'm saying? But that really wasn't my thing. I was on that down south shit, you know.
Still like gangster rap though?
Yeah, gangsta rap for sure.
So you never was into the lyrical, it's like, well, I mean, they lyrical to a certain extent. I guess
I was into the reality rap.
Subjective,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I feel you.
I was listening to the niggas who I can look at and feel like they living that shit that they rapping about. You know what I'm saying? All them punchlines and metaphors and shit ain't never really, you know, mean too much to me. I wasn't into that.